sometimes we feel like we being selfish when we do that.
Right? And you actually kind of sometimes feel guilty. And
No
it's
question.
like the title of the book is I Just Need a Minute, and it's figurative, but it's literal
No
at the
question
same
about it.
time, right?
No
Because,
question
like
about
you
it.
said, sometimes you need more than a minute,
For
but
sure.
sometimes that 60 seconds can
Just,
actually make a world of a difference, you
just
know?
just that breathing. Just let me catch my breath real quick. Let me take a deep breath. Let me like just really tap in, close my eyes for a minute, have a little mindfulness minute, right?
Yes.
And refocus because I need to really get back into what I'm doing.
Hmm.
But I kind of needed that little commercial break real quick to be
Real
able to
quick.
say like, okay, bro, you got this. Stay on balance here. Don't lose it. I mean, I had moments like this last week where it was just like something would happen and you'd be like, all right, bro, don't jap out. Please don't lose it here.
All right. So welcome back to another episode of the What's Your Motor podcast. Obviously, I got a returner, my business partner, my A1 since day one.
Yeah.
Back in the building. We do got some news for you and things like that. But welcome my man's Wyll Holloway back to the pod. How you
What's
doing,
going
man?
on, man? What's good? How you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling all right. Got it the end of the day at the gym.
Got them reps in real quick.
Got them reps in. That calf start getting a little tight though. So gotta do a little recovery today, But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'm glad you came through. I know you got some stuff going on today too. And for the viewers, usually around this time, we typically do like a men's mental health pod.
Yeah. Yeah.
Given the hustle and bustle of myself, him with his family, my family, things we got going on, other individuals, we haven't been able to make that happen.
For sure. Been a lot going on.
It's been a lot going
Been a
on,
lot going
and
on.
that's kind of something we're actually going to talk about today. Just how we've been able to manage some of those things,
Yeah.
how trying it can be, but also how rewarding it is to kind of be in this position.
No question about
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, talk a little bit about that in terms of like how you've been trying to navigate your day to day life with your wife, your kids, your job,
Absolutely.
us doing our ventures on the side.
It's
You
been
know
a
what I'm
lot.
saying?
It's been a lot of things to juggle, but like I think we touched on this. We touch on this quite a bit. Me and you talk about this all the time. So first I like to try to make sure that I'm tapped in spiritually. Praying, meditating, doing those types of things. Daily. And then usually what I try to do is get up a little bit earlier so I can get that jumped off first. Get some exercise in, like you said this morning. You got to go get them reps in or whatever, so you're feeling good. So I try to do that before I even really hit the day real hard. You know what I mean? Then it's like kind of on and cracking after that. Getting my son to school, getting to work, and then trying to get the day started. But like most of it is like sometimes throughout the day you got to do that pause. You got to take a walk. You got to get that call. We check in with each other daily and just like, hey, how you doing, bro? You all right? Like, is everything straight?
For real.
And so, it's just really good to have somebody that check on you. And again, like, of course, we got our families and we touch base with our wives, we touch base with our kids, but it's always cool to have somebody outside of that.
No, for sure.
Like, are you doing all right? You know what I'm saying? Is everything okay? And a lot of times what we end up doing is we at work together, we end up taking that walk and walking through what was going on throughout that day.
Absolutely.
Or we call, or it's just like, hey, we ain't talked in a minute. We got to chop it up about what's going on. So,
yes.
Just really having that accountability partner, somebody that's going, like, and even in a lot of cases too, it's just like, I might be struggling on a project or dragging my feet and be like, nah, bro, you got to try to get that done. Like,
Them books.
Them books, like the books has been crazy with that, trying to get that process through. And
Yeah.
but like, just making sure that like we try to put the battery in each other's back.
Absolutely.
Like, hey, you got to try to get that done, or we got to do that. Right? We got to make sure we spend that time to be able to, get these projects done and get this stuff out. The side projects, a lot of stuff going on with that. You've been killing it with the podcast. You've been killing it with a lot of other little ventures on the side, but it always kind of come back to ICEC.
Absolutely.
Trying to work with these teachers and trying to, get out in the community and work with some people to try to make some more connections and, get, of course, like get other people exposed too. Like, We just got off a meeting yesterday. We was just, trying to, work with the Daphne Draws Data young lady, Caitlin.
Shout out Caitlin.
And just really trying to get her name out there a little bit with some of the schools that we've been working with. And
based on our connections, right?
Based on our connections. And so, it's about that too. It's like, trying to build a community so that everybody can be able to, touch here and touch there and get more strategies for teachers and for students. So, all of that stuff is important, but like at the end of the day, it's taxing,
Super, super taxing. I mean, think about the times where we be like, I'm actually kind of just tired. You just get tired, but you got to keep going.
For sure.
And I think like when we in the midst of it, it seemed like the walls is closing in.
No question about it.
And then it's like, you know what? But like who else gonna do it, right?
We gotta do it.
We gotta do it.
You gotta find that reserve somewhere. And again, like I go back to prayer quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that usually prayer. If I get enough rest and I get prayer in or whatever, I usually can recharge to do what I need to try to do. But I know I got to do that. Like you said, when the walls start closing in, it's just like, okay, I got to get back to basics because I might be doing too much.
Because you kind of forget your routine or the stuff that kind of helps you remain some kind of like semblance of normalcy for yourself.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I know like sometimes, we both got children, but our little boys is the ones that we really be like trying to make sure we training them up.
No question.
And what I find is it's crazy. I meant to tell you this the other day, but I'm be honest, like with the baby coming and everything we trying to do, we got the PD coming up next month. We got Tot Lot and a week from today. We're gonna talk about our book in a minute. We've been doing that. We're gonna talk about that, how long that took.
For sure.
But I'm be honest, like Walt came. It's something about Walt, and it's something about the little boys. Like he looked at me the other day. He said, "Dad, you okay?"
Yeah.
And he looked at my face. I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm good." He's like, "Yeah, you look like you kind of like tired. Why don't you when you get done, you need to go rest." Mm-hmm. And he actually told me that, and I'm thinking like, bro, you actually right.
Them
reminders. And then he texted me the other day. He out of school, so he texted me. He's like, I always call him Scud.
Yeah. He's
like, I love you, Scud. Appreciate you for all the advice and everything like that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself in a text.
That's dope.
And I was just like, you know what, dog? Like, it gave me a little bit more energy.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
It give you a little bit extra juice.
But it show you who watching.
No question about it. Like, they can see that sometimes you worn down. Like, same thing with William. Like, I picked him up the other day. He went to camp with his school or whatever. He just reminded, like,
that boy came back musty, didn't he?
Yeah. The camp was crazy. So he came back and was just like, going to that camp and not having some of these things on a daily basis just reminded me like of how like blessed I really am.
Yeah, I remember you told me that.
And it was like I kind of stopped and looked at him like, man, he really be thinking about that. You know what I mean? So it was just a reminder to me like of how blessed I really am.
Yeah.
Too, you know what I mean? Like to be in the situation, like you said before, to be in the situation, to be able to juggle all these things, because a lot of people don't have that. You know what I mean? A lot of people, they don't have a, you know what I'm saying, I got a regular job and a project on, 3 or 4 projects going on the side or whatever that might be fruitful in some kind of a way.
Still trying to show up for other people too.
Still trying to show up for other people, working with my son who was in sports or whatever. My daughter getting ready to graduate from high school or whatever.
Yes.
So, getting some scholarships and being able to be like in a position to where, she may not have to pay the full whack. You know what I mean? So
on top of the wife, you got to spend time with the wife.
Got to spend time with the wife. Got to find that time. And, that's kind of been, a point of emphasis lately because she like, man, we really need to be able to, go on a date or just do something because it's like she been spending a lot of time really working with my daughter, trying to get her through a lot of the stuff that she's been, having to go through or whatever. So I commend the wife for being on top of all of that while I'm trying to balance a lot of stuff with William. And so it's been a lot, man. at the same time, it's like you value it because it really actually pushes you to try to be something better than what you are and what you have been. And I just appreciate it. Like when he said that he was blessed, it just reminded me, like, he might feel that way because you have done the things that you need to do to be able to have him feel that way. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You've been allowed to be able to be blessed in that way to be a blessing. You know what I mean?
And as taxing as, a lot of this is, and it sounds, right? Yeah. It's still an honor. You know what I'm saying? It's an honor to even be in this position. And I know sometimes we begin to wallow sometimes in some of our thoughts and trying to get things together, and some things you don't feel like it's going right, but it's definitely an honor. And, and the fact that my wife is pregnant, I'm really not trying to add any extra stress to her. I don't really want her doing too much. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that extra. But I think one of the biggest struggles, and you and I talked about it a lot, is, no one ever, taught you how to kind of like care for your parents as they get up in age. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the biggest things that take a mental toll on me, because I'm like, okay, how do I take care of moms? I'm trying to be there. I'm there, whether it's a grocery store, whether it's something she got to do financially, going by to see her to spend time. She likes her own independence. Yeah. And she not coming by me. I gotta go by her. But then you got Walt. We in Nebraska. We in Iowa. We gone for the weekend. Jayla got track. Preparing for this baby, making sure we got stuff. And then I also recognize that, I got a responsibility to you and everybody else I'm working with. You know what I mean? I value what we do in integrated community educational consultants in terms of being able to work with, teachers and stuff like that, and build the bridges. And I'm not doing anything related to education without you. No question. You know what I'm saying? So somebody calling me, I'm making sure I tag you in, because I feel like
every time
it works better that way.
Every time. It's a level of comfort, really, for both of us, because it's like, when I might be down on this particular idea, my man's is gonna jump right in there, and then like he gonna say what it is that I was feeling, but I didn't have the words to say it at the time. But like, you're right, bro. Like, with the baby on the way, with athletics, man, I'm over here tongue tied a little bit. Jayla now in the athletics and working a job, and like you said, all these different projects that you're doing or whatever. It's a lot, bro.
We do a lot on a regular basis, and I think we should really be celebrating ourselves, though, a little bit, like not on a pretentious tip, but let them know about the book process.
So, we started this process over a year ago, when we really started thinking about, like, we got to come up with something like a tangible thing for the men, because we don't really see it a whole lot. And of course, there's more things now, and we're in Men's Mental Health Month, so we see a lot of stuff now or whatever, because it's really kind of trendy or whatever
for sure
to be a part of what's going on with Men's Mental Health Month. After Men's Mental Health Month, a lot of stuff. And again, I'm not knocking nothing, but I'm just saying it kind of go away, right?
Right.
And so we wanted to have something for men to be able to use throughout the year, to be able to help keep them on balance, keep them on point. Use a lot of the strategies that we use, but the process of putting it together, it's because of all the other things that we talked about, like. We tap in here and be like, a month will go by, because we can't really, coordinate the times. We really can't. And of course, we would see each other because, again, we work together, right? But during them times, it'd be like, I got to get this off my chest. Right now, I can't. Yeah. I'm not in the mind frame to really do that.
Right now, I just need a walk.
That's it.
I need a walk and a talk.
I just need a minute, right?
I just need a minute.
So, by the way, that's the name of the book. Is coming out pretty soon.
Yes. Hopefully, by the end of this month. Hopefully. End of the month, I just need a minute.
So we grinding and put some finishing touches on it, but I just need a minute. That's it right there. So, but really all them times, and we like really trying to focus and do it, it's like we just really needed a minute for real. Like, and sometimes a little bit more than a minute to be like, bro, I got some stuff to tell you. Right. I gotta really get this off my chest. I really gotta, get this out real quick, because it's weighing on me a little bit, right?
Right.
The pressures on the job, stuff that's going on, down there in MATC. It's been a lot, man. It's been overwhelming. So us being able to really come together, and I think in the last 2 or 3 months, we really been like, you know what? We really got to buckle down and start like grinding and get the finer points and like smooth this thing out.
Yes.
And we finally at a point where we really almost there. We really putting the finishing touches on it. But the process itself was, it took a minute to be able to.
It took a minute to make the book. I just need a minute.
No question about
it. Because we just was working on, we were just doing edits. Was it this week or last week?
This week.
This week. Mm-hmm. And the first day when we was like, let's try to finalize this draft, we got through like 4 chapters and we was like, yeah, I'm cooked.
That's it.
And we was done. And then we was just like, we already edited this, but why does it seem like it's not finished? And then we came back and was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
this was the part that we kind of like didn't get to flesh out as best as we want to, but now we finally did it. And it was just, think about the times we had to schedule time for Zooms and Google Meets.
Absolutely.
And then, we don't got the paid subscription to Zoom, so it's like you only get 40 minutes. So then we got to get back on that thing. So
a whole nother one.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I think it feels good because I feel like we're just there. Like we got everything now. It's just like I'm ready for us to get it out to everybody, and hopefully it'll help them. And that's why I brought up like celebrating, because when we was looking at it yesterday or 2 days ago, the last chapter talks about celebrating you as a man
or whatever. Because it's a lot to. It's a lot that goes into being a man when you're really trying to do what you're supposed to be doing. You realize it's not just about you. It's more about the other people that are around you.
That you impact.
Your immediate family, your extended family, your friends, your community. But none of that can happen unless you're taking care of yourself. You know what I mean? And so it's not a selfish thing to, want to pour something into yourself, right? But at the same time, when you do that, you feel like, okay, I'm good. Now I can actually give something to other people. And I think that's, one of the main things that we're talking about in the book, figuring out what your balance is and where your baselines are and, where your boundaries are. And
that was important in that book.
No question. Like being able to set those boundaries and like, for many of us, we just work. Some of us don't know when to say no.
Yep.
Some of us don't know how to say no. And so, teaching yourself some of these things that is not necessarily, and again, some years ago, some of this stuff was considered taboo.
For sure.
You're not supposed to tap in with your emotions, unless it's like anger or just happiness. Those are two things that you could actually openly express. But
you're supposed to be a stoic individual.
So it's so important, or whatever, that we dive deeper into some of these things and allow men to be, it's okay to tap in with your emotions. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay for you to have standards, not just for yourself, but the people who are around you or whatever. Allowing people to come in that's going to actually pour something into you, as opposed to always having to pick somebody else up or having to carry somebody else. That stuff make a difference, man. And it's like a lot of the burnout that we experience is because we feel so responsible. We feel like we got to take care of everything, and so. The book really goes into and it's a book / journal. It taps into a lot of these strategies that we really want to like feed into our community or whatever, because we really believe that it'll help create better men. It'll help create a better version of yourself.
Absolutely.
I know you hear that a lot, but like it's really something that we really truly believe in. And again, many of the strategies that we use and stuff. Right?
Absolutely.
So we use this stuff, so it's not just like we throwing something out there just
hoping it'll stick, right?
Randomly. These are actually techniques and strategies that we use ourselves, just and again, over this period of time creating it, we've had to tap into a lot. We had to tap into a lot of it, and then it's like going back, and it's like, dang, we had to use that.
Yeah, and it's practical. All the strategies are practical. None of it is just like, and I'm not gonna shun that department of academia,
no question
the evidence-based things. I get that and respect that, but also sometimes it's the qualitative pieces, the things that we know that work. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So I think in the book we were providing a lot of things that we use, and we also know that other people have used. You know what I'm saying? From talking to other men.
No question.
Shout out Kwaku for even having us on WNOV to even talk about some of those things briefly.
Dr. Mutri, thank you.
Dr. Mutri, both of them, and those are both therapists as well. You know what I'm saying? But just thinking about when I was thinking about that journal, I think about the book and the journal. I look forward to utilizing for myself, just because I like to write.
For sure.
So after seeing that, like, okay, did I even utilize this? Because I can use a piece of paper to keep me accountable.
No question.
And tell myself I'm tripping.
Go right back to them points that you made.
I'm just saying. Like, and self-talk is in there.
It's right
there.
Yep.
And self-talk is in there. So it's just like, hey, if I wrote this down, that's really me talking to myself.
I gotta stick to that.
I have to
try to commit to what I wrote down. It's important. I know, but it, like for real, like what you said is for real. Like, and it's a guide to be able to say, you know what? Let me go back to my guidebook. Right. We have over this, and again, we say over the course of the year, but it's really been like a course of a lot of years, right?
Yeah.
We go back to these foundational things that we've been doing for ourselves, and we kind of synchronize them and synthesize them and put them in this journal.
Absolutely.
And so that like there's an actual plan that you can use on a daily basis, right? Sometimes, like you said, you can get a little bit off of that, a little scatterbrained because there's so many things going on.
So many things
okay,
going
I forgot this piece. That's why I'm not right. I didn't do that today. I didn't exercise this morning. That's why I'm a little bit off balance.
You can do the self-assessment by utilizing that guide.
No question. I think you had my guy on. What's his name? Desmond Bentley.
Yeah, young boy
doing the assessment of yourself. That was so key.
What do you call it? A personal audit.
Taking that audit of yourself. That was so like key.
Yeah.
And again, going back to being on the pod or whatever, and watching so many things on the pod, you hear so many men talk about things in regards to this type of stuff, right? From Khalif El Amin talking about the exercising every day, and you just hear these guys like Coach Ben talking about having the older guys being able to pour into him and all these different things. It's
absolutely.
Like, so you hear all of these things from these men, and you say, okay, you know what? Let's come up with some strategies. Let's synthesize and put it in a book. Some simple steps. They're practical. We know they work because we use them. We've seen other men use them, and then try to get them out to the community so that the community can have like, oh, you know what? I do got a plan.
And it's a resource.
It's a resource. I just need a minute. Let me tap back into it. And then we put those pages in there so that you can reflect on what's going on with you on a daily and saying like, you know what? Yep, I need to be a little bit more consistent here.
Absolutely.
I need to make sure that I spend some time here. I need to make sure that I'm scheduling time for myself. I need to make sure I'm scheduling time because again, sometimes we feel like we're being selfish when we do that.
Right? And you actually kind of sometimes feel guilty. And it's like the title of the book is I Just Need a Minute, and it's figurative, but it's literal at the same time, right? Because like you said, sometimes you need more than a minute, but sometimes that 60 seconds can actually make a world of a difference, you know?
Just that breathing. Just let me catch my breath real quick. Let me take a deep breath. Let me like just really tap in, close my eyes for a minute, have a little mindfulness minute, right?
Yes.
And refocus because I need to really get back into what I'm doing. But I kind of needed that little commercial break real quick to say like, okay, bro, you got this. Stay on balance here. Don't lose it. I mean, I had moments like this last week where it was just like something would happen and you'd be like, all right, bro, don't jap out. Please don't lose it here.
Right?
Close your eyes for a second. Do the deep breathing. Talk to yourself. Get yourself back down to a level 0 so that you can jump back in there and you don't lose your composure.
Because you can't be hypocritical. How are we going to write a book and we not utilize it?
For sure.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people, not even just men, but any individual can kind of like relate to this. When you are extremely stressed and you extremely agitated, you got so many things going on, any little thing can set you off.
It don't even gotta
It could be a shoe at the door. It could be a clothing piece on the railing. It could be a crumb on the counter. It could be the way somebody didn't say something
a noise. It could be a noise.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's all it takes. So that's why it's important to take that minute.
No question about it.
So if I see something right now, I'll be like, yeah, I need a minute. Let me move around.
Chill for a second.
Before I say something, I probably, you know what I'm saying?
No question
and you don't want to have to be being contentious about something that seems so small when it's really something that's really in your mind that you really need to calm down. You know what I'm saying?
So it's so many, and that's the other thing. We let so many things build up. Right?
Oh my gosh!
Because of the stress and because of you trying to handle it and like I don't have time to really sit down and do this or do that. Let me just jump right in. And again, like with your kids, situations come up at the drop of a hat. So like you're not even anticipating something that's happening, right? You get a call and you're like, well, can we do this or can we do that? And it's just like, okay.
Or not even I need this.
I need this. Like,
can you come?
For sure.
Those things get.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
And I don't know if you've seen the post that I put up on the story the other day with Steph Curry.
Yep.
Where he was like, what did he say? He said something to the effect of like, he deals with imposter syndrome, but he's always worrying about it if he's showing up or doing all that he can for some person.
For the community that he's supposed to be.
And serving. I remember us having that conversation where I think we were on WNOV and we were talking about what was like a gift that we can give. And I really think time.
Yeah, no question.
Like time, if we had the time.
No question.
To do it. But sometimes I think like we overbook ourselves. We overdo
overextend.
Because we feel like, you know what, I can't make an excuse for not being able to do this for X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
And that's troubling.
It is, and again, it was like we always feel like we owe, you know what I mean? Like somebody did this for me, so I got to be able to do this for, you know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Or they didn't do it, and I just want to be the person that show up.
That's a big motivator for a lot of us. Boy.
Right.
It wasn't there when I was, I want to be able to, you know what I mean? Like, I love my father. My father wasn't coming to a whole bunch of events. Mm-hmm. He wasn't going to do all of that, right?
Likewise.
That's not something that he did. So I want to make sure I'm there for my son when he doing this. I want to make sure I'm there for my daughter when she doing this. And so it's difficult though, because you got to try to balance all that time out, right? And at the end of the day of a work day, sometimes you're cooked. Sometimes you don't have enough. You don't have enough, and then it's like, dang, I still gotta go sit in a 2-hour practice, or I gotta still go to a training, or I gotta make sure that, I sit at this meeting because college is next for my daughter, and I gotta make sure that we doing that. You know what I mean? So having the mental capacity when sometimes you've talked all day and you're talked out. You've walked across and had these meetings all day, and it's just like, I don't have no more for that.
I don't have no more. And it's so different, like you said. It used to be taboo because when you think about the men of old, you know what I'm saying? It was something you ain't talk about. You just was a man, and you just go through it. And I get that to a certain extent for sure, because you want to maintain that kind of like mystique about yourself, like nothing bother you. But let's be real. This stuff does bother you, and it does get under you. And it's no one, and I don't want anybody to look at it like men are complaining. I mean, maybe there are some men, but I'm not complaining. We're not complaining. It's just a matter of fact. Like, this is real. Like, this is a challenge. It's a challenge to do all this. Challenge. I'm up for it, but that mental toll, that physical toll, it does play a part. So it's very important to eating right, exercising,
as we get older,
praying and reading and talking to somebody, having somebody to talk to. We walk them stairs. That's exercise at the same time while we actually speaking, which is helpful.
Sometimes you can feel the stress come off of you because it's like, we've had that conversation about it, right? We've talked to each other, and it's like, no, we got to stick with this because, this is kind of where we at with it. This is what we got. We got to try to make the best of this situation until something else can unfold from this. You know what I mean? And so we've had several conversations about that, and it's like, you know what? You're right. Like, let me try to get my head back into space because I was going left.
Right.
I was going left. So. It's just really important, like you said, all those different elements and all those different things, they need to be in place because it's tough. It's really tough. Like I said, it's like you said, it's a challenge. We're up for the challenge, but everybody had those days. Well, everybody had those moments. Everybody had those times where it's just like,
and it's some that got it worse than us.
No question.
That's just down on that's really struggling, whether it be financially, spiritually, mentally, socially. Some people, lose custody of their children.
All that.
They got children that's spiraling and acting out. Don't know what to do.
They had the strategies, and like it's not at their fingertips.
Right. And health issues.
Like we said, we weren't taught a lot of this stuff, right? The resources don't just jump out and like they don't come to your door. And so when you in those situations, and again, being in education and being that we work with these families, I was a guidance counselor, and I was saying the other day on WNOV, like, it's been so many times when you helping a student out and you realize like this is bigger than them. It's like their family need the resources. So you got to contact the family and you talk to them, and like the parent is in the worse shape than the student is.
How many times have we seen that?
It's crazy. And it's just like, but in our communities we're taught like you don't take help from this, or you don't trust that, or you don't like, we're not crazy, so we're not going to do that. So
and you don't want to look like a charity case.
That's, and people have pride. So like it's tough to be able to extend that those services and things that people might need, especially and the other thing, especially is if it's not coming from somebody that look like you. You know what I mean? Like if you're taking a resource from somebody from a different culture, it's just like, should I trust this?
Yeah.
You've been taught not to trust that. You know what I mean? You've been taught also not to even talk about your issues outside of your home, but like with our kids, and I think also like with social media and so many things coming at them, it's hard to keep it bottled up now because everybody is talking about some of this stuff online, and you can see it everywhere. Like every corner that you turn, you can almost see this stuff, and so it's so exposed now to where it's like it's okay to have a conversation about it, but some of us don't have the parameters, right? We just go right into like how many times you talk to somebody and you just met this person, they go right into the problems, and they be like,
unload, and I'd be like, you don't even know me.
I don't know you.
And they'd be like, man, like you gotta be careful who you disclose your information to, man.
No question
you know
about
what I'm saying?
So it's wild, especially with our younger generation or whatever. They've been, kind of that's what they've been taught right now, right?
Yeah.
But we come from, if you go further back, it's like you don't talk about it at all. So finding a balance between all of that stuff and being able to get the appropriate resources to people, and like you said, some people are really drowning.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I always try to look at it like that way. Like I know I have my days where I can feel it, or my weeks. You know what I'm saying? But I just be like, it's people out here that really, really got it bad. And I'm not dismissing what I'm feeling.
No question.
But I'm also trying to put it in perspective at the same time, which is troubling, which adds to your mental. Because now I'm second guessing, I'm overthinking. Like, let me stop tripping. Should I really be worried about that?
Yeah.
You know what? No, this actually does bother me. But it's like, I'm not gonna make an excuse. I'm not about to call him and complain about that.
Yeah.
Or I'm not about to bring this up.
Yeah.
Let me just take this one and keep going. But it adds more stress. It's more weighted. You know.
So, on the one hand, like my son said, you really feel blessed about being in the position, but on the other hand, it's like some of this stuff is really overwhelming. And I actually do got feelings about it. I'm tapped in with them, and I'm trying to make sure that like I'm not just tripping, right? I want to be able to jump right back in, but right now I really need that minute.
Hey, low key, be like, if you could take this cup, ain't that what he said? He said, take this cup if you would.
But like again, he knew he had to do it, so he took the cup right on back. Right?
That's all I'm saying, and I'm not comparing us to Jesus. I'm just saying.
No question about that.
I'm just saying. He asked his father. He said, "Hey,
but it's an excellent
you can take this cup though.
You can have it if it be within your will." So, yeah, for sure.
Right? I'm just saying.
No question.
But it's like, I know what I got to do at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to being a husband, a friend, a father. I enjoy being whatever I am to whoever it is.
To me, that's the life.
Yeah.
That's the life. That's really what, when I was a little guy or whatever and I was watching my father, that's what I was aiming to be. You know what I mean? A husband, a father, a friend, a community member, somebody that people can tap in with and get some good advice or good strategies or whatever. So to me, I just like, even like to just kind of come back to what all the stuff that we talking about. We want to put that stuff in a book. We want to get the strategies in a book so that people can have something to reference, to go back to. Because a lot of times it is overwhelming and things are coming at you from all these different places. Being able to get yourself centered and say, okay, how can I deal with one thing at a time? Because that's really the only way you're going to be able to deal with a lot of this stuff. Putting one foot in front of the other and saying, okay, I gotta knock this out. So let me try to take care of this. This goal right here is a little bit further down the line, and it's going to take some steps. It's going to take some resilience. It's going to take some patience. It's going to take some courage. It's going to take some strength. It's going to take some friends. It's going to take a lot of different things to be able to get me there. But like I can get there. I just need those reminders. I just need those strategies. Because without the strategies, it's just like a blob of everything. And so you kind of like you said before, like you need all them things to be in place.
You need them.
If you don't have them in place, it's really, really hard. And like you said, we guys, we feel like we're very well adjusted, right? We still struggling with certain things. So we still struggling, right? It's people out there that's not that well adjusted, and like it's so much stuff they can't really see that goal all the way down.
Absolutely,
they trying to see the next 5 minutes.
Yep.
So take that minute to be able to get yourself centered and figure out, okay, what's the resource that I need right this minute? Is it the breathing? Is it tapping in with somebody? Is it something outside of myself that I can go tap into?
Some self-talk. Do I need to talk to myself real quick?
Absolutely. So it's a lot of things or whatever that you can look into this book to find a resource. And, hopefully, like you said, it'll be a help for a lot of different people to get you set your plan up for yourself to continuously grind and do the things that you need to do. Because, again, none of it is going to go away. The grind is not going away. No,
it's not going away. And, our original date, we was trying to get it out early June.
Beginning of the month.
So, families could possibly get it as a Father's Day gift and things like that. But nonetheless, obviously it's Men's Mental Health Month. But at the end of the day, it's always Men's Mental Health Month. It's always Women's Mental Health Month. It's always Mental Health Awareness Month.
Always.
So whether it come out in June or July, which we plan to come out by the end of June for you and things like that, we should be utilizing this on a regular basis, man, as opposed to, thinking about trying to do it for a particular time. Yep. We got to be able to do that and make it a regimen for ourselves to try to keep it up. Because I think creatures of habit, of course, but we love routine. If you can get something routine, obviously we're gonna be some monkey wrenches here and there,
No
but
question.
I just need a minute. I'm telling you, the guidebook. This is one we took some time on.
No question about it.
And we've seen ourselves in it. We've talked about it. We've edited. We've taken out. We've changed. We've seen something that we was like, you know what, we need to add that. You know, this makes sense here. We've done a lot of that. So our hope is that you really, really appreciate that and use that.
Get something out of that. Yeah, no question about it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, this was a nice one. This was well overdue.
No question about it.
I know we got a long day ahead because you got some things going on. I got some things going on.
For sure.
But I'm just happy that we was able to sit down today.
Yeah,
because it's been a minute.
We still locked in, people.
Yeah. We ain't went nowhere. We doing a little side thing. We got PDs next month for some educators. Yeah. We still got that going on. So please tap into us if you need something for educators in terms of professional development. We really we're full. We can do a full PD for all teachers.
No question.
We really want to get some of those new teachers too, though, just to help them with some of that mental resilience and these strategies.
Get them started off on the right track.
Yeah, get them on the right foot. I mean, and no disrespect to any of the academic programs that they come from and things like that, but that's the academic piece. We really hone in on the qualitative aspects of becoming a teacher and how to, hold down the classroom.
No question.
So yeah. Anything last words?
I mean,
usually the man of wisdom. So you ain't got no bar for us, or no?
I mean, just shout out to the people in the community, man. There's so many people that's doing so many good things. We want to just celebrate all these people that are coming together. And like we said, it's not a routine; it's a lifestyle. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not a moment; it's a lifestyle. I think as long as we keep everything rolling, like mental health should be a journey, a process.
Yes,
not just a little bit of a one time thing. I said that backwards, but. Yeah, we want to make sure we keep it rolling. You know what I mean? Keep the wheels on the ground and keep them boys headed in the right direction.
Absolutely. And shout out Claire.
Shout out Claire. We got a little something with the CLC, possible partnership to be able to work with some mentors coming up. And so we got a couple things on the board that we really trying to make sure that we make them happen. Like we said, grinding with educators, but again, it's a community effort, and so we open to work with people in the community about being able to make things a little bit better for everybody.
That's all we here for. We trying to collab. We trying to work. We trying to bring some continuity, some collaboration within the community. That's what we're here for.
For sure.
And that's all we're trying to do. Shout out E-Class.
E-Class.
Save the children. You know what I mean? He got me a trillionaire in the hat. I really appreciate that, man. Sure. Always trying to support the brands of different people. I know you usually support Claire and other individuals.
I was supposed to bring that on with me today or whatever. I ended up wearing my with my shirt got on here today.
Fruition MKE.
Fruition MKE.
Shout out Fruition MKE.
So I did wear something that I, you know what I'm saying, to be able to represent. So we always try to make sure we wear a piece because we are out in the community. We are trying to support, so many things that's going on in the community.
Absolutely.
Because again, like we recognize that we're not the only ones out here trying to do something for somebody else.
Absolutely.
And it's just about the betterment of everybody. And so everybody can eat. Everybody can be a part of this process. When we all pour in, it just makes it better for everybody else. And so that's what we aim to do.
Absolutely. We aim to do. So stay tuned for I Just Need a Minute. By my boy
Holloway.
Wyll Cullin. It'll be out this month sometime, so please be on the watch.
Yep. Check us out, y'all.
Check us out. So until next time, what's your motive?